Gefilte Fish!
We're back.
Back again, another awesome review coming up.
Yeah, really interesting film. Not just only what happens in the film, but the way it has been released. Cabin in the Woods, Joss Whedon, produced, written by, not directed by. Who directed it? Drew Goddard?
Drew Goddard, and he co-wrote it as well.
And
he wrote
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
Yeah, so this film was shot in 2009.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's a while ago.
and then it was supposed to be released in 2010, and then it got delayed because they say we're going to post-convert it to 3D,
Yeah.
and then it just got shelved.
Hold.
Fan outcry has finally seen this film come to our screens.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where you want to know as little as possible about it.
These 5 kids, university students, go to Chris Hemsworth's cousin's cabin in the woods, and
And what do you know, some shit starts to go down.
yeah,
but it's not in kind of the direction that I thought it was going to go in. It kind of takes, there's a few twists and turns. Like if you haven't seen anything like I hadn't, I had no point of reference going into this film. It was like, wow, this is really interesting what they're doing with it.
All I knew about this movie was that it was sort of a deconstruction of the horror genre, and in that sense, I kind of expected exactly where it went, but it made it no less amazing.
Yeah. And it deconstructs it. It's kind of meta. It's very self-referential. It
Yeah.
knows what it is. And it's really cool because like the film, they go off on the road trip and then they stop off at the gas station,
gas
and there's the
station.
creepy gas station owner.
It can get away with playing those cliches, and they do feel fresh, but they still work in that way. Like you still do get a jump when the gas station guy suddenly appears.
I want to know what the budget for this film was because like everything looked really good.
Mm.
I mean, at least I thought so anyway.
No, it looked great. And the cool thing about this film is it really escalates. It sort of starts as like a really simple idea, the kids go off to the cabin in the woods, and then it just sort of ramps up as the film goes.
Kind of like Prometheus, actually. It just throws this random scene at you. It just throws you right into what the movie is going to be about without explaining it in any way. And you're sitting there like, what is happening? Where's the cabin? Where's the woods? Where's the kids? But unlike Prometheus, it goes on to develop that completely, and you find out exactly what's happening in that opening scene.
Yeah.
And
I've got to say, when I came out, and I immediately thought of Prometheus. This is exactly the same. It's throwing little bits of information at you, and you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this isn't going to come together like Prometheus, but this one, holy shit, the payoff is totally there. And it goes from like, as I said, it goes from this level and it just goes to places you never expected.
it feels very much like a Whedon script. All the characters, like instantly within the first scene that you see, these characters, they're already just so much more well written and likable than any other of the horror movies that this is aping, which is impressive. Because I mean, like Chris Hemsworth is playing the big jock dude, but straight away you like him.
Yeah, he's
a
nice-
good
he seems like a
guy,
decent
and you
guy.
actually care about these people.
They're not sort of pushed out to those complete stereotypes. They feel like real people.
And that's the thing, which is so impressive, because they are intentionally playing archetypes, horror archetypes, and that's a part of the movie. And but they do feel like real people.
Seeing Richard Jenkins in there,
One of my favorite
who's
actors.
the guy? That guy is the guy.
I didn't know he was in this, and
No,
he's
me
like the
neither.
first guy to appear. It made me so happy.
And the guy from Billy Madison,
You mean his right hand man?
his right-hand guy.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I
So
can't
funny.
remember. Yeah,
The banter between them
Yeah,
in the
they just
film is
really-
totally
yeah.
hilarious. Hemsworth did a pretty good job.
Impressive. His American accent, I hadn't heard him do one. I thought it was very good.
Yeah. And the guy that was making the audience cackle, and fell in love with this actor. I don't know what his name is, but the character who played Marty, who was
the stoner dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Brilliant.
So well written. So well written, and his performance just made the lines of dialogue shine. A lot of these sort of horror films, they, really, often them are really successful in the plot department, and it can be a really cool idea. Maybe, normally towards the end, the third act, it sort of falls apart, but you can sort of forgive it. And this one isn't one of those. And another thing that happens in these horror films is the characters are written really badly. And in this one, it isn't one of those.
Yeah. No,
so
They
on
actually
those two levels, it really, really, really succeeds.
Yeah, I would say great characters, and it just keeps getting better as this movie goes.
The amount of references towards the end, which I won't really get into details,
Oh yeah, it's a fest. It's just
it's
like
a fest.
It's just there's so much.
It's festy, I tell you what. It references, as you said, Evil Dead. It references films like American Werewolf in London,
Hellraiser.
It.
If you're any kind of horror movie fan, there's just something in here for you.
It's a cavalcade of all stars. This movie, it's got everyone.
I'll definitely be picking this up on Blu-ray, and just a great tribute to those films the genre that influenced Whedon in so many ways, and it's great to see that this finally get the light of day, because it really deserves to be known, and it's such a shame that it didn't get a wide release. It really keeps you guessing, and it's a puzzle box, and it unravels itself to a fantastic ending.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to say I'm not a big fan of this kind of horror genre. This isn't the genre that I'd go first to if I wanted to watch a film, but that being said, I had fun with this film. At no point was I not entertained. Like, there's so much happening on screen, these characters, all of them, they're all so funny. I have to agree with you. I'm so glad this film got released, because if it didn't, this would be just...
It'd be such a shame to just leave it there, just rotting on the shelf.
I feel like I probably enjoyed this the most out of the three of us. My first thought when this movie ended was that's the best thing I've ever seen, and obviously that's exaggerating, but it just gives you that feeling. I've heard this referred to as a game changer, and I think it is. I think anyone who's seen this, I don't see how anyone can make just one of those crappy standard horror movies again after seeing this movie and what it does. I think Joss Whedon set out to reinvent the horror genre, and I think he succeeded. I think people are going to have to just up their game a lot to compete with something like this, even though you make something like this and it doesn't get released, so that's great. Go see this movie, go buy it, pay for it, don't you dare download this thing.
Game changer is an interesting, it's a term that's been thrown around with this one.
Well, I think it is. I mean, it is. Like, it's going to be tough for the person that makes another horror film after this one.
Not only does I think this set a challenge for the people who are going to make more horror movies, but when I watch horror movies, like older horror movies, this is really going to change my perception of them. I think I'm going to find it hard to watch a horror movie without thinking of this and the stuff that happens in this movie.